It was early 2017. I was happy, healthy, just got married in London. Shortly after the wedding, we took off on a world tour, and I realised how quickly life can change.
Getting a phone call from Neil in the middle of the night telling me he was in hospital in Peru was not ideal, but he was pretty sure he'd be okay, that there was no big drama. Getting a phone call from his partner a couple of days later telling me everything was not okay was, that was a pretty horrible moment. He'd been admitted into intensive care and I really needed to get over there.
My partner and I were travelling in Peru. We were on a bus to Arequipa and I developed really bad stomach pains. Turns out it was pancreatitis. I was in hospital for a couple of weeks and it all seemed like it was going okay and it would be a short recovery, but it quickly turned bad and my pancreas was dying and they moved me to intensive care and put me into an induced coma.
Flying into Peru, I went straight to the hospital and it was really very confronting. Neil was in intensive care, he was comatose, so completely unresponsive, lots of monitoring equipment around, he was intubated, and it was a very confronting time. Sitting with him in intensive care, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have known I was there, but I did. I would hold his hand. Whoa. Sorry. There was a lot of surgery ahead of him. The surgery process had started. He ended up having in excess of 20 different operations over the period. It was really, really stressful time for all of us.
They removed most of my pancreas, all of my spleen, and most of my large intestine. I had a temporary colostomy bag installed as well. Because of all the surgery that I had and the blood that I'd lost, I urgently needed blood transfusion. If I didn't get that, I would have died.
It turns out in Peru, only people from the local region are allowed to donate blood to that hospital. So that meant that none of us could donate blood. It meant that blood I'd organised through the Australian Red Cross was not suitable. And we had to find a supply of blood. None of us spoke Spanish, and we were wondering just how we were going to do this.
My family took to social media to get help, and that's when the Flight Centre travel group got involved.
Once we realised that Neil needed urgent help getting blood, we put our people power into action. Thanks to our workplace network, we were able to get the word out globally to all of our teams, and we're able to do it fast.
We got in contact with Bryony at Flight Centre because she'd been instrumental in getting my daughter out of Nepal following the earthquake of 2015 and had got her out very, very quickly and very efficiently. We knew that we could rely on her to do everything we needed, and she lived up to that. She's just a brilliant person.
Bryony got the message out to some key people at Flight Centre, and straight away we started messaging our entire network. We asked if anyone knew anybody in Peru or had friends or relatives there that could donate blood, and we asked if they could help right away.
I was oblivious to all this because I was in a coma, but it was pretty amazing to think of what happened next.
Things escalated fast. It was like wildfire. Everyone in Flight Centre around the world was jumping on and saying, I know someone, or I have a contact there, and they just got to work making it happen. Our local office alerted their network and contacted all of our suppliers. Our global social media lit up, and we even had the Flight Centre America's president and the Canadian vice president sharing the story. In fact, my own godfather actually came from Arequipa, so we got him involved as well.
They even got the local radio station to mention it on air, and before we knew it, the hospital was being overrun by people simply coming to donate blood, and they'd simply put their arm out and say Neil, and that was just an amazing thing.
We even got the manager of the hotel that Brian was staying in to donate, as well as all of his staff. In fact, it got to the point that the hospital asked us to stop people coming in.
When I was in the coma, felt like a dream that was going on for too long. When I woke up from the coma, I just remember thinking, it feels good to be alive. My recovery is going really well. I've had a big surgery since I've been back in Australia to have the colostomy bag reversed. I'm now fitter and healthier than I ever was. A big milestone in my recovery was the Sydney to the Gong bike ride. Bike riding was such a big part of my life before I got sick, so getting back on the bike and accomplishing this ride was a big part of me getting back to being healthy.
Nearly losing Neil was an absolutely horrific thing that you wouldn't wish on anyone. But we're through that, and we're very much a part of his life. He's very much a part of our life, and it's just a wonderful place to be right now. It's just, it's the way it should be.
I'll never be able to repay everyone for the part that they played in saving my life, but I'm extremely grateful to the people at Flight Centre for everything that they did for me.